everybody, this is Adam Revere, and in this tutorial I'm going to introduce how to do doubles on the congas, specifically open tone doubles. In a video that I made years ago, I introduced doubles utilizing the palm finger technique, which is widely used in the popular rhythm tumbao. But now I'm going to introduce on how to do doubles with the open tone. Now to begin, let's make sure that we have a good open tone. Now traditionally, when I teach beginners about an open tone, I would discuss on first how to have your hands set and placed, in which I show on or demonstrate by clapping my hands. Because clapping my hands where I'm cupping my palm generates a very loud sound with minimal effort. Because if you do this, when you cup here, it's not very loud. But the moment I cup my palm, has a much, just louder presence and a greater clap and snap to it. More or less how you play the vast majority of hand drums, especially congas. Now, as being introduced to beginners how to play the open tone, I would always discuss about hit the drum and immediately jump off, like it's a hot plate or your hand's a basketball. You don't want to go on the ground and just either try to play through the drum or just leave your hand down. You're not allowing the drum to sing. But to do the doubles, I'm going to show how the vast majority of professional and expert players play their open tones. And that's when they just relax their hands on the rim of the drum, and at most, part of their knuckles or palm are leaning against the rim of the conga shell. Because you can have as much tension or weight on that rim of the conga shell, it's not going to prevent the top of the drum head from resonating and vibrating and sounding great. So that's, but I would usually take beginners away from it because they would lean on it too much. But in this case, it's going to come in handy to where we just relax our hand in a position to where, as I would normally say, stick the landing. So get your hand in that position to where, that slide cup, not flat, not a bear claw, just like you're clapping your hands. Palm resting on the rim. Fingers kind of come like at a 30-degree angle. And when you land, I'm aiming to where my knuckles are right on top of the conga shell rim. So that way they can lean on them and not stop the resonance from happening from the drum head. And when I play, I'm just, all the work I'm doing is lifting my arm up and just letting my arm drop. And I'm pivoting from my elbow. So again, the only thing I'm doing is just lifting my hand up, keeping everything firm, not tense, just keeping everything in a really good solid position. And so here, the only work I'm doing is just lifting up my hands and then just dropping them, letting the weight of my arm help me out with the volume and the sound of my open tone. And with my palms landing on this rim, it's like, this isn't painful. Obviously, watch your thumbs. If you put them too far out, you can get yourself a nice bunion on your thumb. So keep your thumb and your fingers together for that protective padding. So now, the next step is having that second tone come in and it to be just as dominant and present as your first tone. Now let's go back to where either as an instructor or even as a beginner, when you first learn the slap, you might have dealt with somebody or yourself kind of having this bounce. Now you're hearing a slap and you're feeling like it's a very aggressive tone, so you're trying to thwack it like it owes you money. And to where over time you learn, like, oh, I can just really just relax. For my hand, just my hand is to quickly whip down and relax, and boom, I get a nice little pop to my conga drum. And so we're more or less going to need to remember that tension we had that made our hands kind of bounce. Because now when we have that first hit, we want our hand and our arm to slightly just kind of bounce off the drum. So we need to add some tension to our hand and our arm. Again, we don't want to have, we're trying to have a death grip on a bat. You're just adding a little bit more tension, because that tension is going to help just get that bounce off the head. And so this you might practice just simply get that first hit, and then try to find that right amount of tension where you just get a little bit of a hop. It doesn't have to be as dramatic as a couple of these are coming out. Just and if you don't get your hands to hit down, that's not the big, that's not what we're focusing. We're mainly focusing on just see if we can find the right amount of tension that we can give our arms to where, again, I'm just dropping my hand, adding that tension, and getting that bounce. Now, after the bounce, utilize a little bit of that energy. So when you come up, now we've, that bounce, our hand is going to be up. We got a little bit of space between our hand and the drum. Now, at that point, we use the strength of our wrist to follow through with that second hit. So the first hit is just pivoting from the elbow all the way to your fingertips to get that first hit. But once we get that bounce, after developing and figuring out the tension that we need to get the help from the drum itself as well, we just drop our wrist down. So in short, you're coming down to stick the landing, but you add some tension, hand bounces off the head. At that point, move your wrist to kind of flick down. So the only work I'm really doing on the initial is lifting up my arm, and then after that bounce, I'm bending my wrist, and again, just making the downward motion, because if I get the right tension and get the energy going, or rather momentum, I'm mainly doing very minimal movements or effort to make a double. Because when I first started practicing, I was thinking, okay, I got to just work out my wrist and try to go as fast as I can, but that I couldn't really relax with it. I wasn't getting the tones I like. It just sounded too stiff. But once I started to relax, finding just a little amount of tension to help me on getting that again, just find the right tension and the amount of momentum to keep me relaxed as I'm doing these fills. So, to review, stick the landing, get used to make sure you can get a really good open tone with just relaxing your hand around, resting your palm on the rim of the hardware. Knuckles kind of resting on top of the rim of the conga shell. Make sure you have a little bit of an angle away from the drum. So that way, when you finally get that tension where you bounce off, you're just spinning your wrist down to get that follow-through hit. And above all, just really stay relaxed. You don't want to feel any tension going to your shoulder or other parts of your arm, or even your forearms, because you might be just like you're focusing way too much on just trying to force your wrist to do it. Allow the momentum and gravity do its work for you. And you'll be able to do these fast riffs sooner rather than later. And adding them to some basic grooves like a basic folkloric rumba. So you get Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and this quick introduction to open tone doubles. So, have fun, stay relaxed, and keep practicing.